Emily Cooper, on the charge of the first-degree murder of Claire Thompson, this court finds you guilty. You are hereby sentenced to 5 years in prison. My legs buckled. I held to the railing as tears flooded my eyes. No, I'm not guilty. I didn't kill her. Please, believe me. The judge didn't even flinch as he banged the gavel. Order in the court. The sentence stands. I turned to Adrian, desperate. Adrian, tell them. You know I didn't do this. He leaned forward. Stop lying, Emily. You're exactly where you belong. His words slapped me in the face. My heart broke a little more. 2 officers grabbed my arms. Do you really believe I killed your ex-girlfriend? Adrian, we loved each other. Love, you killed Claire. You got what you deserved. I could hardly breathe. I trusted you. How can you do this to me? You know I'm innocent. He just smirked. Innocent? Save your tears for prison. As they dragged me away, I screamed one last time. I'll never forgive you for this. Never. Outside, in the back of the police car, I pressed my forehead against the window. Adrian walked out of the courthouse without looking back. I sobbed, the betrayal sinking in deep. He didn't care. Not about me. Not about my pain. But I wasn't going down like this. I was Emily Cooper, daughter of one of the wealthiest and most respected men in New York. I would rise again. I had to. Inside that jail cell, I curled up on the cold floor, my mind replaying that night, the night everything unraveled. Adrian had stormed into the living room. Why'd you kill my ex, you murderer? I stood frozen, the bloody knife shaking in my hand. No, Adrian, I didn't, I swear. Claire's lifeless body lay on the floor, blood everywhere. My heart pounded as I tried to understand what had happened. He glared at me. You're going to jail, Emily. I'm ashamed I loved you. Adrian, please, you know me. I'm Emily Cooper, not a killer. His voice turned ice cold. Shut up. Your name's nothing now. That man, the one I'd given everything to, was gone. In his place stood a stranger. Sirens howled outside, cops burst in, guns raised. Drop the knife. Hands up. I dropped it. My voice broke. I didn't kill her. It's not what it looks like. Adrian didn't flinch. Tell it to the judge, Emily. They cuffed me and pulled me out. I looked at him one last time. He just watched, unmoved. Something in his eyes felt wrong. The nightmare had just begun. After the trial, they locked me in that freezing cell. I thought that was rock bottom. Then the prison doctor delivered news I never expected. Emily, you're pregnant. My breath caught. I stared at her, stunned. My hand instinctively moved to my stomach. Adrian's child, a flicker of light in endless darkness. That baby became my reason to live. But life wasn't done crushing me. Months later, in agony and fear, I gave birth to my son in that horrible place. He was so tiny, so perfect. My eyes, Adrian's jawline. Then the doctor's face turned grave. Emily, he's got a weak heart. We're doing what we can. Moments later, he was gone. I'm so sorry, Emily, your son didn't make it. I screamed, begged, pleaded. I wanted to hold him one last time. I wrote to Adrian. I needed answers. Instead, his lawyer showed up. Mr. Adrian says the child passed away. There's nothing more to discuss. Just like that, my son was gone. Adrian never even looked me in the eye. The pain was unspeakable. I'd never felt so alone. Then came another blow. A letter from my father's assistant. Emily, your father had a massive stroke. He's in a coma. I'm so sorry. My world crumbled. My dad, my rock, gone. Adrian had taken over everything. My name, my family's legacy, the Cooper empire. All stripped from me. And I was left in a grey cell to rot. For 5 long years, that prison was my world. But every night, I made a vow. I would return. They would pay, every last one of them. When I walked out of those gates, Adrian was there, leaning against his car, smiling like we were picking up where we left off. Welcome back, my love. You were missed badly. I smiled coldly. Thanks, Adrian. He drove like nothing had changed, like we hadn't just lost 5 years, a child, everything. He spoke about home, about Lorraine making my favorite dish. I told him I wasn't going home. Not yet. First, I wanted to see the office. He nodded. He parked outside Cooper Tower. Emily, you look amazing, just like before. I've missed you. I shot back. Did you miss me enough to visit me in prison? Oh wait, you never did. He laughed awkwardly. I didn't know how to face you, Em. I was broken. At the mention of our child, I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I smiled. Prison had taught me to wait. Thank you for the second chance. Let's take it slow, like before. No, Adrian, there would be no before. That night, alone in my motel, I received a call, a distorted voice. They knew about Claire. They said the real story wasn't jealousy. They warned me, don't trust the smiling faces. The call ended abruptly. The next morning I walked into Cooper Tower. People stared, whispered. Liam greeted me. He spoke of my dad's faith in the wrong people. Adrian and Lorraine had been planning it all, he hinted. I was dizzy with betrayal. Then a nervous employee approached me, something about security logs. Before he could say more, Adrian appeared. The man went silent and left. Adrian smiled like nothing was wrong. Later in the cafe, a little boy with curly brown hair and a train backpack bumped into me. I'm Jonathan. You can call me John. His eyes, they struck me. So familiar. Could it be? He bought a tie for his dad. Said he had lots of money from his dad and grandparents. He liked me. Said he wanted to stay longer. Then his father arrived, powerful, cold. He looked at me. Emily. He knew me. How? John waved goodbye. Don't forget me. I won't, John. I can't. Something tells me. I've just scratched the surface of the truth, and it's darker than I ever imagined. Back in my tiny office at Cooper Tower, I couldn't get John's face out of my head. His little giggle, those big, hauntingly familiar eyes. They hit me like a punch to the gut, dragging me back to the prison cell where I'd once screamed for my baby, the walls cold and silent, offering no comfort. I was only allowed to hold him once. I tried to grieve. I tried to let go. But deep down, I never believed it was over. Now here was John, that boy from the cafe. And his father, Eric. Was it even possible? Could John be my son? Or was the pain of 5 long years twisting my mind? That fear, being right, was somehow worse than being wrong. The next morning, I skipped the fake breakfast at the mansion and found myself in a greasy cafe in Hell's Kitchen. That's where I met Miles Reeves, my dad's old private investigator. He was exactly how I remembered, grumpy and blunt. He told me I was late. I snapped that he was cranky. I didn't care. I wasn't there to be polite. I needed the truth. I asked for everything, about my trial, my son, Adrian. Miles asked if I was ready. I told him I spent 5 years behind bars praying for answers. I was beyond ready. He handed me a beat-up black folder. My dad's old seal stamped on it made my hands tremble. Miles said my dad had hired him before the stroke. My father had sensed something was wrong, that something was closing in. Inside the folder were court papers, blurred photos, financial records, and notes in my dad's shaky handwriting. I touched the ink with my fingers, fighting tears. He'd been fighting for me. Then I saw it. A custody document, dated just 2 days after I gave birth. I stared at it, numb. What's this? Miles said a lawyer named Ben Halvers pushed it through, but the signature wasn't mine. I whispered, how? He told me he'd matched it with my prison records. It didn't match. Adrian had stolen my baby, without me even knowing. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I asked about Halvers. Miles said he disappeared, like a ghost. Just gone. I turned the pages slower, feeling colder with every word. There was a hospital report, part of one. Miles said the place where they claim my son died shut down shortly after. No records, no doctor, nothing. I held up the death certificate. Is this real? Miles shook his head. Fake name. Fake hospital. Rented office. Disconnected number. Adrian had made me mourn a lie. I set the certificate down, my hands shaking. He thought I'd never come back. Miles told me this wasn't just about revenge. It was about empire. Adrian and Lorraine wanted the Cooper legacy, and they would do anything to get it. I asked, who else was in on it? He leaned in, said he'd gotten threats, calls in the night, bricks through his windows. Someone powerful was pulling strings. How big? He didn't know, but big enough to erase people. I found a photo, Adrian talking to a man outside a bank. Offshore accounts, money funneled from Cooper Tower. Can you dig deeper? I asked. He said yes, but I had to be ready to fight dirty. I closed the folder. It felt like holding a weapon. Thank you, Miles, I said. I wasn't just going to survive. I was going to destroy them. I went to my father's care facility next. The air was sterile and cold. My father lay still, hooked to machines. But he was still my dad. The man who told me Coopers don't quit. I held his hand. You told me I'd run this city. I'm doing it for you. I kissed his forehead. I love you, Dad. Walking out, I wasn't broken. I was ready. That evening, as I stepped out of Cooper Tower, there he was, Adrian, leaning on his overpriced car, all fake concern. I let him open the door. I played the role. Let him talk about weddings and chicken risotto. Inside, I felt nothing but the weight of John's eyes, the silence of the child I never got to hold. Lorraine greeted me at the mansion like nothing had happened. Pearls, lies, and sugary sweetness. She told me Chloe was engaged to Troy Parker. That name jolted me. Troy Parker, the Shadow King of New York. This wasn't a wedding. It was a business deal. A trap. Dinner was theater. Chloe made snide comments. I responded coolly. I wasn't the same woman they locked away. That night I couldn't sleep. I heard voices, Adrian and Lorraine, whispering, laughing. "She's still as stupid as ever," Adrian said. "She always was too trusting," Lorraine replied. I wanted to scream, but prison taught me better. I wouldn't attack. I would dismantle them. A week later, Lorraine dragged me to a fancy gala. I wore white, innocence on full display. They whispered, "That's Emily Cooper, the murderer." Chloe sent me wine. I barely sipped it. Moments later I felt it, the room spinning. I was drugged. Then Eric, Troy, caught me, pulled me to a quiet room. He asked me to trust him, said Chloe had planned this. "Why are you helping me?" I asked. "Maybe I know more than you think," he said. I snapped. "They took my son, why should I trust you?" "I'm not them, Emily. You feel that, don't you?" He brushed a strand of hair from my face. "It's him or me. Pick a side." And then came a knock. Adrian's voice. Eric melted into the shadows. "The truth is, Jonathan isn't just my son," he whispered. My world shattered. Jonathan. John. My knees nearly gave out. Adrian opened the door, looking pale, nervous. Was he hiding the truth all along? I looked around. Eric was gone. I clenched my fists. I would find the truth. I would burn every lie to the ground, and I would get my son back, no matter what. My cramped office at Cooper Tower was a cage dressed in glass and concrete. The fluorescent lights buzzed like a memory I couldn't silence, and every paper on my desk whispered accusations. Murderer, traitor, mother of a dead child. But today, everything was different. My phone buzzed, skittering across the desk like it knew something. A single text lit up the screen. "Meet me, cafe, now, about John." John. My heart stopped, then thundered. My fingers trembled. Was this another trap? Another cruel mind game from Adrian? Still, I couldn't ignore it. John's name was a blade, sharp, familiar, cutting through fear. I grabbed my coat, heart pounding, and left the office with eyes in every shadow. The Hell's Kitchen Cafe was the kind of place where secrets hid in burnt coffee and sticky booths. A hooded man sat alone in the corner, like a piece of furniture that had grown roots. He jerked his chin at me. I slid into the seat across from him. "Who are you? What do you know about John?" I demanded. Without a word, he slid a photograph across the table. I reached for it slowly, and the moment my eyes focused, my world shifted. It was John, laughing, sitting on Eric's lap, alive. The date stamped on the photo was a month after my son was supposed to be dead. My hands trembled. I blinked back tears. "Where did you get this?" He leaned in, his breath foul, his voice razor thin. "Your son's alive, but you're not the only one looking for him." Before I could shout, beg, or threaten, he vanished like smoke through the door, leaving behind the photo and a storm in my chest. I returned to my office stunned. I clutched the photo like it was oxygen. John, my son, stolen from me. And now, maybe in danger. But I needed more. A photo wasn't enough. I couldn't go to Miles just yet. I needed someone who'd seen it from inside. I needed Marla. She'd been a nurse at the prison infirmary when John was born. Quiet, jittery, always watching her back. We'd only exchanged a few words during my time inside, but once, when I cried for my baby in the dead of night, she slipped me an extra blanket and whispered, "They lied to you." That whisper stayed with me like a scar. I dug out an old number, one she'd scrawled on the back of a toothpaste carton years ago. I didn't expect it to work, but it rang. And then a voice. "Hello? Marla, it's Emily Cooper." Silence, a long one. "Jesus," she muttered. "I knew this day would come. Meet me in 15, 8th and Broadway, Green Cross Pharmacy." I didn't ask questions, I ran. The pharmacy was almost empty, the fluorescent lights making everything look sick. Marla stood in the back near the blood pressure machine, wearing oversized sunglasses and a hoodie despite being indoors. Paranoia clung to her like perfume. "You shouldn't have called me," she said without looking at me. "I had to. I saw a photo. My son is alive. Tell me the truth." Her hand twitched. She pulled a folded sheet from her purse and slid it into mine like we were passing classified files in a spy movie. That's a second birth certificate. Faked, signed under a false name. They issued it 2 days after you gave birth. My throat tightened. Why didn't you say anything back then? Marla's eyes met mine, terrified. Because I saw what happened to the real doctor. He questioned the orders. Next morning, he was gone. No goodbyes. His records erased. They brought in someone else wearing his badge. That's when I shut up. I unfolded the certificate. It had a bogus mother's name and a new ID number at the top. What's this code? I asked, pointing to the odd string of digits. Ledger tag. It links to private adoptions through a hospital that doesn't exist on paper. I stole it before I quit. Why help me now? Marla glanced around. Because someone's been following me again. I think they know I kept a copy. And because I saw your face on the news last month. You looked like a woman who wasn't going to stay silent anymore. She reached into her bag again and handed me a key. This unlocks a safety box at Union Bank. You'll find medical logs, visitor lists, and one photo. Taken the night you gave birth. I think it'll tell you who took John. My voice cracked. Why are you giving me this? Because I'm leaving New York, tonight, for good. Marla started to walk away, then turned back. Emily, if you go after them, you need to be ready to lose everything. I nodded, voice firm. I already have. That night at the mansion, Adrian's fake warmth wrapped around me like a noose. Lorraine poured wine with poison in her smile. Chloe shot daggers with her eyes. Emily, dear, you look tired. Work too much? Lorraine asked, her voice sugary. I'm just adjusting, I replied evenly. Chloe leaned across the table. Careful, Emily. Wouldn't want you getting hurt. The threat was clear. After dinner, I crept up the stairs and paused at Adrian's study. Their voices, low and cruel, slithered through the door. She's digging again, Lorraine said. She won't find him, Adrian snapped. Eric's handled. Eric? My breath caught. Was he in on it? Or had he double-crossed Adrian? I locked myself in my room and called Miles. Find everything you can on Eric Parker, I whispered. Everything. The next morning, Cooper Tower was a battlefield. Derek smirked, tossing me a fake assignment. Caitlin whispered insults under her breath. But I kept my head down. And then, in the cafeteria, I heard the one voice that could slice through it all. Miss Emily! John! He ran to me, arms out, a paper airplane bouncing in his hand. I dropped to my knees. Hey, little guy, I said, choking back emotion. I missed you. He grinned, eyes bright. I made this for you. I hugged him tightly. Then I saw Eric, standing nearby, watching, guarding. John, come now, he said firmly. I stood, my eyes locked with Eric's. Was he protecting John or controlling him? That night, Miles called. Eric's a ghost before 5 years ago. He's tied to Troy Parker and Adrian's offshore accounts. My stomach twisted. At Chloe's gala, the sabotage continued. A stolen gem planted in my purse. I turned the trap around, planting it back on her friend. Chloe screamed. I played innocent, a small win. But then a waiter slipped me a note. John's in danger. Leave now. I ran. Miles met me with a USB. I found the nearest coffee shop and plugged it in. The footage shook me to my core. A nurse, blurred, carrying my newborn away. Adrian's voice, clear and cold. Keep the kid hidden. She can't know. John, alive, stolen. It was all true. I confronted Eric in his high-rise office. Is John my son? I demanded. His eyes softened. He is, but Adrian's watching. If you push too hard, he'll vanish. I wanted to trust him, but trust had burned me before. Everyone's my enemy until John's safe. Then the text. You took the ledger. Give it back or John's dead. I grabbed the ledger, John's airplane, and ran. Chloe ambushed me. Henry turned a gun on me. I fought, I escaped, I survived. John's little hand in mine grounded me. Eric led us to a safe house. Adrian's got eyes everywhere, he warned. But I'm not with him anymore. Then a photo slid under the door. Me and John in the park. A note. You can't hide. Henry came, pretending to help. Then he pulled a gun. I'm sorry, Emily. Adrian pays better. I fought him off. Chloe came next, knife in hand. I kicked her down. Cops arrived. She ran. Then Adrian's face appeared on my burner phone. Nice try, Emily. John's mine. You'll never find him. But he was wrong. I already had John, and I would never let go. We ran through the alley, then a cop car pulled up. The window rolled down. Lorraine. Get in, Emily, or John's gone for good. Her voice was ice. Will I escape Lorraine's trap? Is John truly safe? Who is still pulling Adrian's strings? And what darkness still waits in the shadows? I'm Emily Cooper, and I'm not done yet. If you are excited to know what happens next, download the Pocket FM app from the link in the description and listen to the exciting episodes of Emily's Return.